Happy New Year, little trolls. 2026 marks the 80-year anniversary of Tove Jansson's first full-length Moomin novel, Comet in Moominland, and to commemorate it a new edition has been published, the one on the right here with the lovely green cover. So today we are going to compare the new edition and this previous version with the striking red cover. The English translation, including this one ever since 1951 up until now, was based on the 1946 original version of the story, but in 1968 Tove Jansson had the chance to significantly revise the novel, and this updated definitive version was used for most of the translations across the world. Now, for the first time in English, we have a translation based on the revised edition, along with all of the changes to the illustrations that came with it. Some of the illustrations are altered or completely omitted to fit in with the changes to the story, and some were simply redrawn, probably to fit in with the established style of the Moomin series and Tove Jansson's evolving taste. As you can see here, comparing the two at times almost seems like a spot the difference game. The very first edition in 1946 came with inkwash versions of the illustrations, like the ones found in Moomins and the Great Flood, later exchanged for the standard pen and ink illustrations, the ones used for all of the English editions, as far as I know, both the old and revised. I'll share a link in the description to a great blog that details all the changes to the illustrations. Although I vastly prefer the pure black and white versions with their intricate patterns and textures, perhaps it would have been more fitting for the 80-year anniversary to publish a special edition with these original inkwash illustrations, maybe in the same format as the special editions of Moomins in the Great Flood and Moominland Midwinter that I covered on my channel before, quarter-bound in cloth with sewn binding and all that. But who knows? 2026 has only just started, and the publisher has plenty of time to treat us with another book. And here we have the newly published revised edition. It's been a while since I read the original, but from what I can gather online, there were a lot of minor and major changes. Certain events were omitted due to being perhaps too frightening for children. Some of the characters' attributes were changed or toned down. For example, fan favorite Snufkin is no longer portrayed as a thief. The descriptions of the environment were changed from a tropical setting to a more Nordic landscape, which I assume also led to the character of the silk monkey being changed to a kitten, which you can see on the cover boards. References to actual places such as Mexico or religious figures were removed. I assumed this was done to plant the world of the Moomins outside our own, although the muskrat still seems to be reading Oswald Spengler's Decline of the West in one of the illustrations, so there must be a Moomin Spengler writing books somewhere in Moomin Valley as well. The story describes the days before a giant comet is predicted to hit Earth, following Moomin and his friends through various adventures, and although the general tone of the book is as whimsical as you would expect from a Moomin story, there is an ever-present sense of impending calamity. Made in the closing months of World War II, Comet in Moominland, similar to the Moomins and Great Flood before it, appropriately deals with the looming threat of catastrophe, which many critics interpret as an allegory for the war, and especially in this case, the atom bomb. I'm not sure I would call it an allegory, but there are definitely parallels you could draw, and I would assume that Tove's experience during the war informed the writing, as well as the real possibility of nuclear annihilation in the middle of the Cold War, during which she wrote the revised version. Either way, it's a beautifully strange story that still feels authentic, if that makes sense. Both of these editions share the same size, as you can see, in line with the rest of the sort of book's hardcovers, although the cover boards in the 80th anniversary edition are just slightly thinner than the old one. Both have glued binding, quite stiff and difficult to keep open, and I fear how long until the pages start falling out, but then again, these editions are very affordable, so I suppose some sacrifices had to be made. This story has also been adapted into animation multiple times, and Tove Jansson herself adapted it into comic strips, which you can find in volume 4 of the complete Tove Jansson Moomin strips published by Drawn and Quarterly under the title Moomin and the Comet, although with a plotline even more different than the one in the revised novel. Well, that would be all for now. I hope you all had a nice rest during the holidays, and I wish you all the happiness in the world in the upcoming year. Goodbye.